football game. I don't really know. I got shoved into a locker once in high school, and I get really upset with things involving balls at this point. Great time for the mic to cut out. Anyway, so, a lot of states recently, they've been banning Pornhub, and I think that this is it's an ineffective way, to keep kids safe. Because if there's one thing that the internet has more than porn, it's videos of people getting beheaded. Just stay with me. I really hope you guys relate to this, otherwise I'm gonna have a very awkward next few minutes. I actually have a friend from one of my classes, so if I bomb hard, I have to see her on Monday. So everyone make sure to laugh. Anyways, when I was a kid, I watched a lot of videos that children should probably not be watching, and honestly, none of it was porn. I think I learned about sex after violence, the penis, the thing MS-13 cuts off when you snitch. But, people talk about, post-nut clarity, but have you guys ever, watched a compilation of ISIS execution videos? Then you just had to go downstairs to the dinner table and act like, yeah, I'm a little afraid to see your search history. But, it was rough. My mom would be like, Stella, how was your day? And I'm like, Mom, I have Lively bookmarked on my computer. I've never had a good day in my life. I will say though that I guess there were some good things about watching that type of crap as a kid. My grandpa, he was a World War II veteran. And, sometimes at Thanksgiving, he'd be like, I saw a man get sucked into a jet engine. And I was like, oh my God, I saw that video on Instagram too, Grandpa. We have so much in common. And he'd start crying, but it's if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. If you can't handle the blades, get out of the jet engine, if you will. So a lot of people think I'm gay, and I think that's pretty understandable. But the thing is, I think it's fair to think I'm gay because I do look like someone who is legally not allowed to participate in girls' high school sports, which, is true. I'm not allowed to participate in high school girls' sports because I graduated 2 years ago. But there is something I'm allowed to do, and that's comedy. At least until the end of this set. We'll have to see, I believe women should be trailblazers and everything, and I might be the first female member of Peace Up Band. Not for being racist, but for not being funny. Now, yeah, you're on the chopping block too. We might get band together. Anyway, next up we have a very funny man. Please give it up, everyone, for Jackson.
How you guys doing? Good? You guys feeling good? It's like springtime. Got the sunset going on. Can you guys see that? It's beautiful. Nobody's laughing. Anyway, you guys ever see those news stories that are breaking news? High school teacher has sex with a boy in her class. Have you guys ever seen this before? Yeah. One thing I notice about myself when I see a news story like this is my reaction heavily depends on what the mugshot of the teacher looks like. If it's an old teacher, I'm like, oh my God, he was just a boy. How could you do that? But if it's a hot, crazy chick looking teacher, I'm like, damn, nice one, little bro. You know what I mean? Because if you're a hot teacher, you just made that kid's year. He's the coolest kid in school. Yet she has to go to jail for that. Isn't that fucked up? You guys agree it's fucked up? Does anybody disagree? Does anybody think, well, no, she should go to jail? Doug is the only objector in the room. Well, Doug, I think you're just not seeing it from the boy's perspective. You know what I mean? Because I remember being a 15-year-old boy. You know what I mean? There's definitely a lot of adult women that I would wish were pedophiles. You know what I mean? Why don't you take advantage of me sometime? Why don't you tell me how much you're for my age? You know what I'm talking about? Anyway. Also, let me know if the mic cuts out. But yeah, no, I think the way scientists name diseases is kind of misleading. You know, like a good example of this is herpes 1 and herpes 2, right? The difference between them is just one number. Yet, like, herpes 2 is definitely worse than herpes 1, you know? Like, I think it should be called herpes 1 and herpes 9000. You know, like, because that would definitely stop the spread of the disease. You know what I mean? Like, imagine you're about to have sex with someone and they're like, hey, I'm sorry, I probably should have told you this earlier, but I have super mega herpes 9000. You know, like, that would stop the spread right there. That's the problem, man. Gotta listen to me more often. I'm just saying what everybody's thinking, you know? That's it. What else was I gonna talk? Sorry, my brain is on like half speed today. I don't know why. Oh yeah, you guys. I don't know if you guys watch the news, but you may have heard. Sorry. Oh my God. You guys may have heard. Trump said that we're gonna stop funding Ukraine. You know, and I think that's an interesting topic. You know, like whether we should fund them or not. Because like on one hand, you know, maybe we shouldn't fund any foreign governments, right? But on the other hand, maybe we should keep funding Ukraine. Because that way we can build a bunch of Walmarts there after the war is over. Can you imagine if they started doing drone deliveries from those Walmarts? The amount of PTSD that would cause for Ukrainian veterans? It's like, no, Vladimir, it's okay. The drones can't hurt you anymore. They're not delivering bombs, just pre-seasoned chicken breast from Walmart. You hear the crinkling noise coming from that drone? That's the bag of Takis you ordered on the Walmart mobile. Walmart. Brought to you by America. I don't know. Anyway, you guys, more... Actually, we'll skip that joke. You guys know these girls that are like, when summertime rolls around, they're like, hey, I'm going to go to Europe. We're going to have a girls' trip. You know what I mean? I'm going to go find myself in Europe. I'm going to go explore Europe. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, but what they really mean is they're going to go to Barcelona and let some Spanish guy explore them. I'm sorry, I don't have a problem with that at all, you know? You're young, go to Europe, go have fun. But my issue is that these are the same type of girls that say, OMG, like uncircumcised dicks look weird. It's like, what do you think you're going to find in Europe? They don't really... The circumcision market in Europe is pretty small. Like, they don't do that over there. You know what I mean? I mean, ever since a certain German guy did a certain thing in 1940s, they don't really do that anymore. Alright, that's... Okay. Alright.
Yeah!
Alright, so Jackson said hi to me actually a few moments ago by saying that if he did well tonight, he gets to go home and have a cigarette. So what do we think, folks? By show of hands, does he get a cigarette? Alright, Jackson, it's going to be a good Friday night for you, buddy. Alright, next up, everyone, please give it up for Jack.
Yeah! Woo!
Keep it going for Stella.
You gotta hold that shit tight, man. I'm telling you, it's not good. It's not fun.
Wait. Oh.
There you go.
It's like, what? Okay. Wow, I'm like nervous. I want to talk about Doug. you guys know Doug, right? Doug just, you know, there's this weird feeling I have about Doug. I don't know if this is funny or not. I just want to talk about it. Doug, like normally, like before the show, comics don't really talk to the crowd for whatever reason. Like maybe we're afraid we're gonna bomb. Doug comes in, he's got that yippee-yo, yippee-yay energy, you know? He's like throwing out what's your name and shit. Meanwhile, I'm in the corner like dissociating before my set. And I'm just watching him tear it up. It's like cucking almost, like, it's like social cucking. Like I've just seen it, like, you know when you're like walking with your friend, right? And then they say hi to somebody you don't know, and you just gotta stand there. I feel like that's I don't know. I feel that's like the closest to feeling like I'm a cuck that there's ever been. Like the whole time I'm just thinking like, how do you know all these people? And why are they always black? And why am I hard? Love you, Doug. I'm no asshole. I like watching people lose Mr. Beast challenges. Like, dude, you're a grown man in a warehouse fighting back tears because you stepped on a red line. Like, there will be a Mr. Beast challenge. I'm gonna give away $10,000 if you can hit that homeless guy with this jar of nickels. The guy takes it. Redo. That was warm up. It's not fair. He moved out of the way because he had that wheelchair. I love it too when Carl goes in and that asshole, he just goes in and doesn't give a fuck. Like when the guy's mid-breakdown, he does this fucked up post-game interview thing. You just lost $10,000. How do you feel? The guy's like, I was gonna pay for my son's chemo. That's so cool. Subscribe to Mr. Beast. I'm no asshole. I think you should be allowed to yell at customer service people. Hear me out. Okay, I just lost the whole crowd. Hear me out. Like if I buy some sketchy shit off of Temu, right? They fuck it up. An orphan shows up at my doorstep. I can't just call up Mr. Temu on speed dial and tell him I ordered twins. Who am I supposed to talk to? I get it, I'm an asshole, right? It's a stressful job. It's like stressful and frustrating. And you know, as a customer service person, it would really help, right? If you had like a number you could call and just yell at whoever's on the other end. Like a reverse suicide hotline almost. Like, I'm not gonna, but by the time I'm finished, you're gonna. Gas prices, man. Gas prices are crazy. Woo! You know, pretty soon pedophiles are gonna have to start driving Teslas. Like, I just love the idea of an eco-conscious pedophile. Like, you'd wake up in the morning and be like, man, Earth's not doing so good. Time to go touch the kids. You'd even go to rallies and shit. Stop global warming! Save the Earth! Protect the ice caps, not our children! I feel like the worst part about getting abducted by an eco-conscious pedophile is not even it's that he won't shut the fuck up about Tesla autopilot. Engineers spent hundreds of hours. Yeah, but we don't got all day. Fucking molest me. Alright, that's my set.
Alright, thank you, Jack. You're everyone's favorite adolescent comedian.
That was mean, I'm sorry. All right, next up, please give it up for Aadi.
Woo! Aadi.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? How's break?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah? Ooh, the weather's pretty warm today. Pretty good. I like my crowd like I like my weather. Warm. You know, I'm really happy to be here. It's been a while since I performed. And I'm going to tell you guys a story. Okay, the story is really close to my heart. And my heart's beating really fast. The story, okay, I just feel like you guys need a lot of context for the story. So I need to please just stay with me. I got stood up twice on the same day. Now, by itself it sounds bad. Without context also it sounds bad. But let me just give you context. So I'm going to this thing, right? This blind date event, and me and my friend, we are going to this thing in Walk, and we are walking there, and when we reach, I say my name, and this guy is just looking at this iPad, right? The son of a bitch. Like, I don't know what he's trying to find, but this guy literally took an entire minute to process the fact that I don't have a date. And he just said, yo man, I'm so sorry, I don't have a date for you. And this is not but how much low self-confidence I have for myself. I just burst out laughing. Like the moment he's like, you don't have a date, I went, yeah, I deserve that. That's literally what I said. And the guy, he said, you know what, you just go in and you can sit down. And you can just go in and sit down and we'll find someone else waiting. I go in, I sit down, and I'm waiting, and this guy comes and tells me, hey, your date is here. She's in the room, she's gonna come sit with you. Guess who didn't show up? Now, this is the sad part where I feel like I'm an asshole. So there was another date happening that was pretty opposite to me, and those guys were like talking really nicely, and they just look at me. I'm just like this, right? I just lost out on life, and I'm just sitting like there, and this girl just starts talking to me. And this guy also starts talking to me, ignoring his date. And I feel like an asshole for engaging in this conversation. Like, I feel like such a big third wheel, right? And these guys are like, hey man, I'm so sorry for you. What's your name? What are you doing? What's your major? And I'm just feel like, bro, continue your date. You're not me. Come on, you're not a loser. And then these guys are just continuously talking to them, to each other. And I'm like, you know what? Do I just be an asshole and just get that girl's Instagram? Or do I let this CS guy go? Now, see, this is why I feel shitty, right? I actually took a shower, I dressed up, and I went. And I'm just looking, I'm assessing my opportunities. I'm like, Instagram or nothing. And the asshole comes to me and he's like, yo man, I'm so sorry. This guy also got stood up. You wanna continue painting with him? So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna get a girlfriend, might as well get a friend. So this guy comes to sit next to me. And he's like, yo man, did you also take a shower for the first time in a month? I'm like, yeah. So this guy then starts talking to me. And he's like, and he has a lot in common with me, to just freak the fuck out of me. Because this guy's a senior in his second semester, and I'm a freshman in my second semester. And I'm just going to end up like him, because he's also Indian. He also has the same major as me. And he also looks freakishly similar to me. And I was like pretty sure I time traveled just to freak the fuck out of me. Which is something I would do. Like I would totally time travel to the past just to freak myself out and just be like, hey man, you're gonna end up alone. I would totally do that. I'm an asshole. I would totally do that. So see, context of that. You know, I feel like I'm 90% sure I've already bombed this set. 10, 9. No, I feel like this is the political climate where a brown man can go out and just start counting down. You know? So yeah. You know, my spring break was also very nice. I had a lot of fun with my friends. And me and my friend went to Seattle to meet my dad. And at the moment I land, my dad, he picks me up and he's like, we're driving back home. He tells me, hey, you have a girlfriend yet? See, the thing is that I don't know what my dad expects me to say in front of him. I don't think he expects me to tell him, yeah, I have a girlfriend, or no man, your son is a loser. Like, because my friend told that. So my dad just tells me, hey man, you have a girlfriend? I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, okay. I don't know, I think he expected that response, but he just continues driving, and then he drops the most nonchalant comment. I don't know what went through his mind, but he just said this, you need any help? Like, yeah, I'm going to need a 50-year-old's help to navigate the current dating system, which actually is not a bad idea. Hear me out, guys. This system is so fucked up. The only people getting dates right now are old rich people. Like, think about it. When was the last time any of you guys went on a date with anyone who actually, you know, worked out in a while? Fuck you, dog. Who else? I didn't expect that, but no. Oh shit, now I feel like an asshole. But yeah, I think that's my time, so thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I tried.
Next up we have Jaguar. Please give it up for him.
That's what I get for trying to be useful. the thanks I get for my knowledge. That wasn't applicable here, apparently.
All right, so before I start, it may not be this set, but like before the end of the semester, I'm going to crowd surf, so just be ready for that. So I was at Ford, and I saw a sign that said, please don't move any of the furniture, but all the chairs were pushed in, so I left. For this next show, can you all pretend that I'm wearing a blue shirt, please? They say that blue is the most attractive color a guy can wear, so if any women in the audience want to fuck me, that's probably why. I was making some macaroni and cheese, but I accidentally used evaporated milk, and when I went to boil it, well, you can guess what happens. Y'all know Mr. Beast? What if he was called Mr. Pedophile? You think kids will still fuck with him? I kind of want a foot job right now. I don't know why y'all are laughing, I'm not joking. Just felt like throwing a little fun fact in there.
I can take my shoes off for you later.
Appreciate it. So I'm majoring in aviation management, but I'm not that smart, so I feel like I should major in like aviation worker instead. Like, y'all know about all those airplane crashes? When I graduate, I'm gonna tell them to stop that. But I haven't graduated yet, so. Y'all know surf and turf? I think those shrimp can swim, but saying they could surf is a little bit ambitious. Compared to the cat, who can definitely turf, you know? Like, what would a surfing shrimp even sound like? It'd be like, cowabunga. And then the cow from the surf and turf would be like, shrimpabunga. I'd be pretty pissed if I went fishing and I reeled in a bag of chips, because then I'd be like, damn, this is the exact opposite happened with the meal I was looking for. Now I've got chips and chips. I think imitation crab is way better than regular crab, so it makes me wonder how much better the imitation crab would be if it wasn't imitating the crab. Anybody else in the audience want to give me a foot job? Or just appreciate it.
Aadi's got you.
If you don't, give me a standing ovation at the end of my set, just like, you know, move away. So, growing up, I used to be afraid of book stands, but now I'm afraid of like emotional intimacy with women. Like, it's gonna happen, but I'm still concerned. I'm also afraid of being Alzheimer's. I'm also afraid of being Alzheimer's. So I ate some tres leches, and it was really good, so I went back for seconds, but when I got it, I saw the cinco leches, and I was like, what happened to the other milk? And they're like, it evaporated. Started listening to K-pop, and people were asking me like, is it good? And I'm like, I don't know, I don't speak Korean. I hate when people are like, I run these streets, and then they people map their way to show you. Alright, that's the end of my set. Thanks.
It's not my night. All right.
Not a good night.
Everyone, please give it up. We have a new performer, first time, so everyone be nice. Everyone, please give it up for Patrick.
Good luck with that chord, man.
Oh, there we go. All right, so this is my first time. Be gentle with me. Yeah. So I'm a grad student. I'm trying out stand-up for the first time. That should tell you how confident I'm feeling about grad school right now. It's pretty tough. I'm always broke. But I'm a problem solver. I'll give myself that much. So I decided that I'll sell drugs. I'll cook crack and I'll sell crack. That's my game plan to get a job. But I don't know how to cook crack. That's a real life skill, and I'm in grad school. I don't have that. So like all my other problems in life, I decided to ask ChatGPT, how am I going to cook crack? It told me it's against the user policy or something. I don't really know. So I asked it, you know what? Could you tell me what I should avoid buying at Walmart so I don't accidentally go home and cook crack? It can be a really good shopping list. I was surprised. All right, now I have a bunch of crack. I don't know how to sell it. I'm not a salesperson. I'm in grad school. No real life skills. So I said, hey, ChatGPT, how do I make a vendor on the dark web so I can sell crack online? I said, that's against this user policy. Fine, you know what? How do I avoid doing this? Please. I really don't want to sell crack online. That'd be very bad. It gave me a pretty good answer. I set up a vendor. It was a bit slow, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for the in-person approach. So I asked ChatGPT, I decided to be direct, who should I avoid selling crack to so I don't accidentally sell crack to them? The police did not appreciate it when I offered them crack. That did not go very well. But I guess besides that, grad school is pretty good. I'm from Chicago. It's a bit different than Indiana. It's definitely a bit more conservative, I guess. I was actually at Harry's, believe it or not. I was there before the 4th of July, and I ran into an older gentleman. He very politely let me know that he does not like brown people. But I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I bumped into him again later that night. And I tried talking to him, see what his perspective was. And he said, you know what? I shouldn't be rude, I shouldn't brush you off. You could be one of the good ones. And I was like, we're off to a great start. Maybe he'll buy my crack. And so we get to talking, and I asked him, hey, 4th of July is coming up. Do you have any plans for this weekend? And then he looked really concerned. He looked at me, got real quiet, and said, listen, America's a great country. Please don't do terrorism this weekend. Please. I didn't know how to respond. I was a bit taken aback. I did the only thing I could think of, took out my phone, looked at my calendar, and asked, so if this weekend doesn't work for you, would next weekend? I'm thinking we could squeeze it in between my Pilates. Maybe that would be good. He didn't like that. I don't know, maybe I'm not funny. But I decided to smooth things over. I'm like, you know what? Let's get some Jaeger bombs. I think that would be a great idea. He hated it when I made exploding sounds when I dropped a shot. He was like, I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe that wasn't necessary. So I'm like, I'm gonna smooth things over. I'm going to make amends. So I said, listen, I'm sorry, I'm being a dick. Let's hug it out. On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I got kicked out of Harry's that night. All right, that's all I got, so thank you.
Everyone give it up for Patrick. That was awesome.
That's great.
We do have someone else. Doug, you wanna, let's get this over with.
I
Give
love
it up for Doug.
I'd like to talk to you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about Jack. Jack used to have my favorite joke in this entire club where he would pretend this mic was his penis. And he'd swing it around. And one day, we all got to watch Jack get circumcised live, and his penis went all the way over there. And now I need a shout at the audience. Jack says I know everyone, and it's because I've got the courage to do this. What's your name? Yeah.
I'm Victoria.
Victoria? Oh my gosh, that's my mother's name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're just as pretty as she is.
Stop.
She's 68. I'm sorry, I get a bit defensive. I'm very paranoid, which is a real problem because when you're that paranoid, you need a really good. This is just for show. You need a really good security system to sleep safe at night, and I don't got that kind of funds, right? So I developed a security system that turns a profit. I will teach you how. It is 3 steps. Step 1: learn to sleep naked. I say learn, you can kind of just start doing it. You don't need to learn much unless you have a roommate. They will learn things. Step 2, you put up a security camera. Step 3, activate the OnlyFans live stream. The perverts will keep you safe. I put up a caption. In case of intruder, call 911. 15th caller gets 10 minutes of phone sex on the house. I'll be honest, I've yet to have to follow through on that offer. If I ever have to, I'll just outsource labor to Victoria. Not you, my mother. But I have a lot of enemies. My Uncle Gene is my enemy because I saw his penis. I'm supposed to be sleeping at Gene's house, but I hear the TV, so I rush down the stairs. Gene is watching professional bowling, standing in the middle of his living room with a shaker weight, naked as the day he was born. I never found out why he was naked, by the way. Presumably it's part of his security system. So he's just standing there. He reaches for a modesty shield, but the only thing in reach is a statue of Jesus on the cross. Now, Jesus was repeatedly beaten and nailed to a crucifix. This was the worst punishment he ever had to endure. I wish Jesus was a bit more well-fed, too, because you could see his ribs and my Uncle Gene's balls. If only my uncle worshipped Buddha, I would have a heck of a lot less trauma. So we're just there making eye contact. Not me and Gene, me and Jesus. He's just standing there shaking his shaker. I've got a lot of it. I hate running, so my running coach is my enemy because he makes me run. Also because he made me call sweating, preparing to win. In that case, Gene is the biggest winner I know. The ancient Egyptians are my enemies. I don't like how they set up hieroglyphics. You don't say the pictures, you just take the first letter of each sound. So a shoe, a running shoe, and track doesn't spell running, the sport I hate. No, it spells shot, which is what happens if you're bad at running and go to public school. Public in your nation doesn't spell Victoria's favorite hobby, it spells who. Jesus and nakedness doesn't spell Gene, I guess it does spell Gene. I got a whole list of enemies. You guys want to hear them?
Yeah.
Okay, first, racists. Thank you. It's racists. The rest of you got to work on some stuff. The second one is Nazis. I've had it up to here with the Nazis. I don't like professional bowlers who don't wear bowler hats. Because, at least it's an emergency shield. I didn't like the identical twins from my high school. They used to switch places for exams, and I think that's a total waste. If I had a twin, I would switch places for them with them for six. For once, they would have to be the bottom. I don't like the spiritual special K. It sounds like the autistic Ku Klux Klan. I've got a bit of a gripe with Catholic priests, right? I think they failed Gen Alpha. Really fucked them. We got the business school over here. I got a problem with Car D.V. She's not a real car. Megan Thee Stallion. She's not a real horse. Snoop Dogg. I just don't like his music. I have a problem with drag queens. I think they are responsible for the death of Elizabeth II. I think they just said slay queen until God listen. I also think they're responsible for the death of Freddie Mercury, but that's for completely different reasons. And finally, I don't like the guy who sings the Ghostbusters theme song. Because if there's a problem in my neighborhood, something strange, I'm calling my mother. And thanks to my security system, 12 perverts and Gene will come to house. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you all so much.
messy to me tonight, so feel free to not laugh at his jokes, and if you have an empty beer bottle, just go ahead and toss that, it's all fine. Ben, I hope you're good at dodging. Come on up here.
You ever played Gaga Ball? I was king at that shit, I'm telling you. I'm great at dodging shit.
Hey guys, so I had a Cracker Barrel shift today. That was pretty cool. The Mexican dishwasher told me some pretty funny jokes, so I just thought I'd share those. And if you don't laugh, I'm gonna call ice on them. So, like, just keep that in mind. So, you heard about the award they gave that scarecrow? He was outstanding in his field. We need to get some more laughs in here. There was a Mexican magician. He was about to do a disappearing act with a little rabbit. He said, "All right, I'm gonna make this rabbit disappear. Uno, dos." And it was gone without a trace. Okay, I won't have to deport Pablo. All right. So this has been a pretty busy news week. You hear about the group chat that got leaked? That's really crazy that they just like leak operational security stuff over like Slack, you know? But when they asked Donald Trump for comment, he said, "Hey, it could have been worse. They could have found the 18+ chat or the -13 chat. Could have been bad." You guys hear about the Studio Ghibli AI thing this week? Everyone kind of hates it. The White House decided to use it. They depicted a migrant being deported with it, because of course they did. And kind of a new meaning of Spirited Away. You guys are knocking shit over for that one, that's crazy. God, I had one more.
RFK. He's banning vitamin C next week. Isn't that crazy? Like they asked him for comment, he was like, "We've been poisoning this country for too long. When I was taught in school in 1943, they told me A and B, vitamin C is number 3. We need more A and B vitamin, no more of the third vitamin, just A and B." And then he returned to his regularly scheduled drooling session. I wanted to have a joke about JD Vance going to Greenland, but like I have nothing. It's just fucking stupid. They're not even letting, like, he's not even meeting with any diplomats. He's on a U.S. base because nobody fucking wants him. He's just that much of a fucking loser cuck. This is just politics now. Fuck him. Now for my last part of the set. Me and my good friend Drew went to an event some hour ago, presenting the SMM 9th annual date auction, where you have a lot of handsome young boys and girls that go up and you bid on them to get a lucky date. The problem with this, SSM stands for Society of Minority Managers. I was the only white man in this room. Naturally, if they did not give me a paddle to bid with, it would be a hate crime. It is strange that they would do this custom 200 years later just to feel a rush that my great-great-great-great-grandfather might have felt. It's very strange to me. So naturally, my Indian and 1/8 black, I might add, manservant, Drew, bid on the very first man we saw, Osige. We bought him for $50. And then we left to come here. I didn't even have to write a set, the set wrote itself. It's just like, I went to an auction, I was the only white guy in there. Everyone just kind of looked at me. I get it now. I get it now. Let's go liberalism, let's get it. Nobody cheers, you guys are racist and crazy. Fuck JD Vance, he's a fucking dork. I'm done, that was my set, thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's been our show, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming out here on this Friday night. We have been the Purdue Stand-Up Comedy Club. You can follow us on Instagram at Purdue Suck with 2 C's. Thank you all so much for coming out and have a